Welcome! Did you know that aquafitness is often misunderstood? Many people aren't aware of the unique benefits of this type of exercise or how to get the most from their water workouts. So that's the topic of this discussion. We're also offering an exciting January giveaway. So stay tuned for details about that. Here's how you enter our January giveaway. Let us know if this information is new for you. Is it useful? What would you add to the list of misconceptions? Do you have a question? Please drop your ideas, comments, or questions below to be entered in our January draw for a free YouTube webinar. January 31st, we will randomly select one winner from our comments section to receive free access to our hour-long equipment webinar. It's packed with lots of great information. Now, please enjoy the information to come. Here we go. Even though millions of people around the world love exercising in the water, many people don't know these important facts about aquatic fitness or the effects of the water on the body. Whether you are an aqua fitness instructor or an eager participant, it's important to know fact from fiction so you can make the most of your pool workouts. Join me as we explore misconceptions that may be standing between you and your best aqua fitness experience. In this video, I will discuss 5 common fallacies that may be derailing your aqua fitness workouts. Some of these misunderstandings keep people from coming to the pool at all because they don't think it's an effective workout. Other misconceptions keep instructors from helping participants optimize their aqua fitness experience. We believe water exercises and classes can and should be planned purposefully. We're not doing things just because we saw them on YouTube. How ironic is that? Our decisions about how to use the water as an effective workout tool are based on research and years of experience. Watch for several extra bonus tips in this video explaining the unique health benefits of aquatic workouts. Here we go. There are many misconceptions about aqua fitness, but here's what we would place in the top 5. The first is that aqua fitness is not real fitness. It's not as good for you as land-based fitness. You're not sweating, your heart rate is lower, you may not feel the burn, you're not overheating or feeling heavy and exhausted like you do in land-based fitness. We'll discuss that. Some people believe that moves that are hard on land are also hard in the water. The moves we'll think about are squats, lunges, tucks, bouncing or jumping while you're working. When you do those on land, they're really hard. We'll talk about the difference when you're working out in the water. Some people believe the best way to work harder in the water is to move faster. Speed equals intensity. While that may be true on paper, it's not the reality for moving in the water. Lots of folks believe you have to use equipment to get fit in the water. In other words, without things like dumbbells or other handheld aquatic equipment, you're not really exercising. We will discuss that. Land-based fitness classes work well in the water. That's what some folks believe. In other words, I should be able to take my land-based fitness class, teach it from the pool deck, and have everyone in the pool get the perfect workout. We will refute that belief. We know that both instructors and participants benefit when they understand how to best use the water as a workout tool. Now let's discuss those 5 misconceptions. The first misconception is that aqua fitness is not as good for you as land-based fitness. We now have years of research that supports numerous health benefits of aqua fitness, many of them equivalent to land-based fitness. The challenge of studying group aqua fitness is standardizing the workload done by each participant. We all know some people work harder than others. The other challenge with this kind of research is that body size and composition, that is, the percent of bone and muscle mass and the percent of body fat each person has, affect workload in the water. In spite of these research challenges, the results support a wide range of health benefits from regular aquatic exercise. Research aside, when people rely on perceived exertion, that is, how hard do you feel you're working, and they try to work hard or somewhat hard throughout their class, they will reap health benefits. It's important to consider that pool workouts tend to reduce joint loading. Therefore, aquatic exercise can be excellent for athletic cross-training as well as anyone with joint pain. Some people find pool workouts more comfortable and enjoyable, so they're more likely to exercise consistently. We're not suggesting you shouldn't work out on land, far from it. However, I can't run on land, but I can run vigorously in the water. So it's a great place for me to do more strenuous cardiovascular exercise. How about you? Do you blend your workouts? Sometime in the gym plus pool workouts? Let us know in the comments section. Here's a bonus tip about a unique health benefit of vertical aquatic exercise. Did you know that respiratory muscles are uniquely challenged and strengthened in the pool? It's true. Work of breathing is increased during vertical immersion in the pool due to a variety of factors. Breathing muscles, that is the muscles between your ribs and your diaphragm, have to work harder in the water, so they get stronger over time. You can increase this effect by breathing deeply in the pool, perhaps singing along with your favorite tunes as you work out. Here's something many people don't know about aquafitness. Circulation in the legs and feet improves, and joint swelling is decreased during vertical immersion. Therefore, swollen ankles and knees move more freely. Because people with swollen joints can move more comfortably, they can typically exercise more vigorously. Swelling is reduced for a period of time after leaving the pool. Here's misconception number 2. The idea that moves that are hard on land are hard in the water. We're talking about moves like squats and lunges, tuck jumps, and bouncing while you're moving. These moves on land involve lifting your body upward against gravity. The faster and more powerfully these moves are done on land, the more difficult they are. Adding extra load, like the woman in the photo holding a kettlebell, further increases the difficulty of these moves against gravity. The fact is, gravity-based moves on land are typically not hard to do in the water. That's because we're not working against gravity in the water. Gravitational exercises are challenging for the instructor who's teaching on the deck, especially because the instructor is in a very hot, humid environment, not being cooled or supported by the water. In the water, intensity is created by how forcefully we move against aquatic resistance, while maintaining a strong, stable, vertical core. The more powerfully we move against the water, the harder the exercise. We're not fighting gravity, we're fighting something called pressure drag, or aquatic resistance. So even though they're really hard for the instructor on deck, moves like bouncing, squats, and lunges in the water are not difficult. In fact, it takes more core control not to bounce when doing moves like jogging, jacks, or skis. Try it. Here's how to work hard in the water. With a stable core, powerfully move long limbs and flat hands in a big range of motion. Then increase speed while keeping the range of motion as large as possible. That's hard work. Here's misconception number 3. The best way to work harder in the water is to move faster. We know from the laws of physics that resistance when moving through a fluid increases as the square of speed. It is an exponential relationship. I promise, no math questions. But when you're considering the effect of speed, we know that doubling the speed, for example, moving at tempo instead of half tempo, resistance, pressure drag, is quadrupled. If we triple the speed, we feel 9 times the resistance. 4 times the speed is 16 times the resistance, and so on. It soon becomes apparent that moving very quickly involves huge resistance. The next slide explains why this matters when planning aquatic exercises. It turns out that moving faster is not the best way to work harder in the water. When people try to go very fast in the water, example, double tempo, they don't have the strength to move very far. Ask someone to run as fast as they can in the water and watch what happens. Their movements end up being very small. Typically, they also tighten their neck, hunch up their shoulders, and fight that extreme resistance they feel with speed. Because most mere mortals are not strong enough to maintain large range of motion at high speed, workload drops. Again, from the laws of physics, we know that work is force times distance. When there's no distance, no range of motion, there's no work. Alignment and breathing suffer when people tense up trying to move very quickly. So we take a different approach to generate workload in the water, as you will see on the next slide. We know the best way to work harder in the water is to move bigger. So rather than trying to go faster and faster to increase intensity, we encourage people to move in the largest possible range of motion. It's important to maintain a strong, stable vertical core, since the core is the foundation of powerful limb movement in the water. We encourage people to maintain a stable core, large movements, and then, if more intensity is desired, increase speed. Large movement done faster is very challenging. Larger movements are functional because they increase strength throughout a big range of motion. Moving this way, people align their bodies to be long and strong. They breathe better. They are maintaining core strength and training it in a functional way, which is a win-win. Here's misconception number 4. You have to use equipment to work hard in the water. Typically, such equipment is handheld, though there are options to use for the legs and feet. We know that aquatic equipment can increase surface area, buoyant forces, drag forces, and exercise intensity. We're not trying to cut the grass of all our friends who sell aquatic equipment. There is a time and a place for many of these equipment options, but hear me out. Exhaustive exercise can be accomplished without equipment. And please consider this when choosing to use handheld or other aquafitness equipment. Continual gripping reduces blood flow in the hands. More about that in the next slide. Equipment may be appropriate for some people in a group class, but is it right for everyone? Not likely. Please consider the pros and cons of equipment usage in your situation. Here's what we'd like you to consider when choosing aquafitness equipment. While we know that equipment adds variety and challenge to group aquafitness classes, continual gripping can aggravate the neck, shoulders, hands, and wrists. Some participants may have weakness or pain in these areas, so the additional workload is not appropriate for them. Will individuals self-select not to use handheld equipment, even if it causes them pain? What do you think? Let us know in the comments. Buoyant handheld equipment tends to elevate the shoulders. We're always encouraging people to set their shoulder blades low on their ribcage when aligning to work powerfully in the water. Buoyant handheld equipment makes ideal shoulder alignment very difficult. In fact, impossible for some people. If people want to add more challenge to arm actions, gloves are a good place to start. They're not expensive. Gloves can be used in a slice, fist, and flat hand alignment against the water, meaning that you have several options for the intensity of using gloves in the water. It makes them a very versatile choice. Now we come to the final fallacy we'll be discussing in this video. And that's the idea that land-based fitness classes work well in the water. By that we mean you can just transplant a land-based group fitness class to the pool deck and it will be fine. People will have a great workout. Typically, both land-based and aquatic fitness classes have a warm-up, followed by a workout, followed by some form of stretching. However, there are important differences. Remember that stuff about working against gravity on land versus working against aquatic resistance in the pool? Many of the moves don't translate well from one location to the other. On land, muscle conditioning moves tend to be quite different from cardiovascular exercises. We design each section of a land-based class to reflect that. People may pause and change position. They may go get mats or weights for floor work in a land class. In the water, moving vigorously to create cardiovascular overload also trains the muscles because of all that resistance we're moving through. We tend not to stop between exercises or class sections in the pool because the pauses can cause chilling. People typically need continuous movement to stay warm. For a variety of good physiological reasons, land-based fitness classes need modifications in order to be suitable for water fitness. Depending on water temperature and the purpose of the workout, pool classes will look something like this. Warm-up needs to be vigorous and long enough to effectively warm the body. We will intermingle muscle conditioning and cardiovascular exercises during the workout phase. This is done to maintain warmth, but also because muscle conditioning and cardiovascular benefits overlap generously in aquafitness moves. Static stretching is typically done at the end of the aquafitness class when people are warm from cardiovascular exercises. Instructors will monitor participant comfort and adjust the stretch component of the class to be sure people don't get too chilled before leaving. Issues like blood flow and overheating are very different in land-based fitness when compared to aquafitness classes, but that's a topic for another video. Here's another bonus tip about the effects of hydrostatic pressure on the body. Hydrostatic pressure is the pressure of the water pushing in on the body, and it's greater the deeper you go in the water. Therefore, pressure at the feet is greater than pressure at the knees, is greater than pressure at the hips, and so on up the body. This pressure gradient is only a factor in vertical immersion, so we don't see these effects during horizontal movements like swimming. The pressure gradient caused by hydrostatic pressure effectively squeezes the body from the feet upward, moving about 1 liter of blood and fluids from the legs and feet toward the chest. In fact, any body part kept vertical in this pressure gradient, like the arms as you see them in the cartoon, experience this fluid shift. That's important to know if you have swelling in the arms, for example. Why does this hydrostatic pressure gradient matter? What effects does it have on people exercising in the pool? The upward shift of fluids causes the heart to fill with more blood per beat. Therefore, the exercising heart works more efficiently with lower heart rate. Work of breathing increases because more blood in the lungs affects lung elasticity. Plus, your rib cage is working against extra pressure from the water. For most people, this provides a unique, healthy training effect for the respiratory muscles. Your body senses that there's extra fluid in the torso area, and the kidneys get a message to clear that fluid. Therefore, the kidneys increase urine production from about 1 milliliter per minute to about 7 milliliters per minute. Yikes! This is why the bladder fills quickly in the pool. Now you know. Aquafitness participants are usually interested to know what happens to their bodies due to hydrostatic pressure. Swelling in the legs and feet, if it is present, will be reduced. Someone recovering from knee replacements, for example, may well find their ability to bend their knees is greatly improved during pool exercise. Heart rate, even for maximal exercise, will be lower than land values for equivalent exertion. So for those folks who are wearing heart rate monitors, it's good for them to understand that they can still be working very hard even though their heart rate is lower. For most people, bladder capacity is exceeded at about 45 minutes of vertical immersion. Therefore, 45-minute aquafitness classes are ideal. Because fluids are being cleared from the body, dehydration is an issue. This is also a reason to offer 45-minute classes, not longer ones. Aquafit participants should be encouraged to drink lots of fluids during and after class. I hope you found this discussion interesting and useful. To recap, Here again are the 5 top misconceptions about aquafitness. Number 1 is that aquafitness is not a real workout. It is. It's different from land-based fitness options. Both are good. Aquafitness has some unique benefits not offered in land-based fitness training, and vice versa. Aquafit is ideal for cross-training or for people who have difficulty with some land-based training options. Aquafitness movements need to be designed to work against the water, not gravity. It's important that instructors and participants understand the differences and learn movements that work well in the water. It's important to understand that simply going faster is not an effective way to work hard in the water. Range of motion is the key to intense, functional aquatic training. I hope it's clear that you don't have to use equipment to get fit in the water. The right equipment can add variety and intensity, but if you choose to use equipment, be sure it is used appropriately. Instructors need specific training on the use of equipment. It's not one size fits all for group aquafitness. Leave a comment below for a chance to win access to our hour-long webinar on the use of aquatic fitness equipment. Land-based fitness classes do not work well in the water because we're working against aquatic resistance in the pool, not gravity. It's important to use moves that work in the water and design classes specific to the aquatic environment. Is any of this information new for you? Is it useful? Do you have questions? What would you add to the list of misconceptions? I might add that standing in the water and chatting doesn't give you the same health benefits as working, but maybe that's just me. Please drop your ideas, comments, and questions below, and be sure to give us a like and subscribe if you found any of this helpful. We look forward to selecting a winner of our aquatic equipment webinar on January 31st. All the best at your pool, and we'll see you next time.